Have you ever felt completely alone, even when surrounded by people you love? Or perhaps you've noticed a quiet sadness in someone you care about. A loneliness they can't quite put into words. It's a feeling many of us experience, especially as we get older. But it's often brushed under the rug, seen as a natural part of aging, or something to be ashamed of. The truth is, loneliness in old age isn't just a fleeting emotion. It can be a persistent, silent struggle that touches more lives than we realize. It can feel like a heavy cloak, insulating you from the warmth of human connection, making the days feel longer and the nights colder. And the most painful part, we often suffer in silence, believing we're the only ones, or that there's nothing that can be done. But what if I told you there are hidden truths about loneliness in old age? Aspects no one really talks about, that once brought to light, can completely change how you understand and navigate this challenging emotion. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're profound insights that can open doors to greater understanding and, more importantly, real connection. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 5 such hidden truths about loneliness in old age. We'll explore why it might feel different than you expect, why it's so often kept secret, and most importantly, what these truths reveal about finding genuine connection and purpose in your later years. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise you, what we uncover together might just surprise you and offer a fresh perspective on living a connected, fulfilling life at any age. Let's begin by peeling back the first layer of this complex emotion, a truth that might challenge your very definition of what loneliness is. Many of us, when we hear the word loneliness, immediately picture someone living alone, perhaps an elderly person isolated in their home. We assume that if someone has family, or friends, or lives in a busy community, they couldn't possibly be lonely. But here's the first hidden truth. Loneliness isn't always about being physically alone. It's fundamentally about feeling disconnected. Think about it for a moment. You can be in a room full of people, at a family gathering, a community event, even a bustling supermarket, and still feel a profound sense of isolation. That feeling of being unheard, misunderstood, or simply not seen for who you truly are. It's not the absence of people that causes this particular kind of loneliness. It's the absence of meaningful connection. For many older adults, this can be particularly acute. Perhaps a spouse, a lifelong confidant, has passed away, leaving a void that no number of casual acquaintances can fill. Or adult children are busy with their own lives, meaning conversations become superficial rather than deep and resonant. Your routines might have shifted dramatically after retirement, leading to fewer opportunities for genuine interaction with colleagues who once shared your daily triumphs and struggles. It's a quiet ache, a sense of being on the outside looking in, even when you're right in the middle of things. I've heard countless stories, for instance, of individuals who live with their families but feel a deep chasm between generations. They might be physically present at the dinner table, but feel unable to share their thoughts, fears, or wisdom because conversations revolve around different topics, or there's a perceived lack of understanding. Or consider someone who was once highly active in their career or community, but health limitations now prevent them from engaging in those same activities. They might still see people, but the depth of connection, the shared purpose, is gone. It's not about being alone. It's about a fundamental shift in how one interacts with the world and the people in it. It's about the quality of the interaction, the feeling of truly belonging and being understood, not just the quantity of people around. Recognizing this difference is the first crucial step. It helps us shift our focus from merely being with people to actively seeking out and nurturing genuinely meaningful connections. It's about understanding that the antidote to this kind of loneliness isn't just company, but connection. But why do we find it so hard to express this feeling of disconnection, this subtle, often invisible loneliness? This leads us to our second hidden truth. a barrier that often keeps this struggle locked away. Here's the second profound truth that often goes unsaid. Loneliness in old age is frequently a silent struggle, hidden behind a veil of pride or even shame. Society often paints a picture of happy, contented seniors, surrounded by loving families and enjoying their golden years. We're told that getting older means more leisure, more time for hobbies, more relaxation. While that can certainly be true, it also creates an unspoken pressure. If you don't fit that idealized image, if you feel lonely despite all expectations, it's easy to feel like you've failed somehow. There's a stigma attached to admitting loneliness. Especially as we age, we might think, I shouldn't feel this way. I have a family. I have my health. What's wrong with me? We fear being seen as a burden, as clingy, or even as somehow deficient. This fear can be paralyzing. It stops us from reaching out, from saying, I'm struggling, or I wish I had more meaningful conversations. It's a fear of being perceived as weak, or needy, or ungrateful. We might try to put on a brave face, offer a cheerful I'm fine when asked how we are, even when inside, our hearts ache for genuine connection. Think of someone who meticulously maintains their garden, or always has a perfectly tidy home, or always seems busy. On the surface, they appear to have everything under control, thriving in their independence. But underneath, they might be using these activities as a way to fill time, to avoid confronting the quiet void, or to project an image of self-sufficiency so no one worries about them. They might decline invitations because the effort of performing normalcy feels too great, or because they've convinced themselves no one truly wants their company. This internal narrative of I should be fine or I don't want to bother anyone becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, deepening the isolation. The paradox is, the very pride that keeps us from admitting our loneliness also prevents us from finding the very connection we crave. It's a silent battle fought behind closed doors, a secret many carry out of a profound desire not to be a burden or disappoint anyone. Understanding this truth is vital because it allows us to show ourselves, and others, more compassion. It helps us realize that admitting loneliness isn't a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of honesty. It's a universal human experience, not a flaw. The first step towards breaking this cycle of silent suffering is acknowledging it, even if just to ourselves. And once we begin to do that, we can start to see that the causes of loneliness run even deeper than simply losing touch with people. They can be tied to profound shifts in our very sense of self, which brings us to our next crucial hidden truth. We've seen that loneliness isn't just about being alone, and that pride can keep us from acknowledging it. Now, let's explore something even more profound. A third hidden truth that goes beyond simply having people around or not. This truth delves into the very core of who we are and what gives our lives meaning. For many of us, our identities have been deeply intertwined with our roles throughout life. For decades, you might have been defined by your career, a dedicated teacher, a skilled carpenter, a diligent accountant. Your work provided structure, daily interactions, and a sense of contribution. Or perhaps your identity was centered around being a parent, raising a family, nurturing a home. Then, suddenly, or gradually, these defining roles shift or disappear. Retirement hits, and the daily commute, the problem-solving, the camaraderie of colleagues, all vanish. Children grow up and move away, starting their own families, and the constant demands of active parenting fade. Health challenges might mean you can no longer pursue hobbies or activities that once gave you joy and a sense of accomplishment. This isn't just about losing external connections, it's about losing a part of yourself, a part of your daily rhythm and purpose. When these pillars of identity are removed, a profound void can open up, leading to a deep sense of aimlessness and, consequently, loneliness. You might feel adrift, wondering, who am I now? What is my purpose today? The silence of an empty house isn't just quiet. It can be deafening when it echoes the question of, what now? Consider someone like a retired nurse. For 40 years, her life revolved around caring for others, problem-solving under pressure, being an essential part of a team. The uniform, the shift patterns, the grateful patients, all gave her a clear sense of identity and immense purpose. Once retired, the structure is gone, while she loves her freedom. The sudden lack of being needed in that specific way can be jarring. She might feel a loss of relevance, a quiet emptiness where urgency and contribution once thrived. Or think of a homemaker whose entire adult life was dedicated to raising children and managing a household. When the children are grown and gone, and perhaps a partner has passed, the job that defined her daily existence is no longer there. The house might be full of memories, but the present feels less vibrant, less purposeful. This isn't a lack of love from family. It's a loss of self-definition, of the active role one played in the world. It's a different kind of loneliness, one rooted in an existential shift. The good news is that recognizing this helps us understand that finding new purpose, no matter how small, can be incredibly powerful. To counter this, it becomes essential to actively seek out new sources of purpose and identity. This doesn't mean finding another job, necessarily. It could be something as simple as taking up a new hobby that challenges you, like learning an instrument or a new language. It could be volunteering for a cause you care about, even a few hours a week, giving you back that sense of contribution. It might involve mentoring younger people, sharing your vast life experience and wisdom, or perhaps connecting with a group centered around a shared interest. Building a new community around a new passion. The goal is to redefine what gives you meaning and structure in this new chapter of life, creating new anchors for your identity. And while this internal work is crucial, it's also important to understand that loneliness isn't just an emotional state. It has tangible impacts on your physical well-being. Which brings us to our fourth hidden truth. This is a truth that might genuinely surprise you, as it often surprises many healthcare professionals themselves. We tend to think of loneliness purely as an emotional or psychological state, a feeling of sadness or emptiness. But the truth is, prolonged loneliness is not just about feeling bad. It's a chronic stressor on your body, and it carries serious, measurable physical health consequences. It's as detrimental to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, or even more so than obesity or physical inactivity. When you feel chronically lonely, your body registers it as a threat, similar to how it would react to physical danger. This triggers a fight or flight response, elevating stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, persistently high cortisol levels can lead to systemic inflammation, a silent enemy that contributes to a host of chronic diseases. Your blood pressure can rise, putting strain on your heart and arteries. Your immune system can become weaker, making you more susceptible to infections, from the common cold to more serious illnesses. Sleep patterns can be disrupted, leading to fatigue and further stress. It's a vicious cycle where the emotional pain manifests as physical deterioration, silently undermining your health without you even realizing the connection. Studies have shown a strong link between chronic loneliness and an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and even certain types of cancer. It can accelerate cognitive decline, increasing the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Think of it like this: your brain and body thrive on connection, on social engagement. When that connection is lacking, the system begins to struggle. Imagine someone who gradually withdraws, stops going out, and spends most of their time alone. They might start experiencing unexplained aches and pains, a general feeling of malaise, frequent colds, or even issues with memory. While these symptoms might be attributed to just getting older or other medical conditions, the underlying factor of chronic loneliness could be playing a significant, if invisible, role. It's not just a sad feeling you can shake off. It's a profound biological and physiological stressor that demands attention. Just as we monitor blood pressure or cholesterol, we should be just as aware of our need for genuine human connection. Recognizing loneliness as a significant health risk transforms how we approach it. It means we should prioritize social connection as much as we do diet and exercise. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity for healthy aging. This might mean talking to your doctor about how you're feeling, not just about physical symptoms. It means actively seeking out opportunities for connection, not just for emotional well-being, but for the tangible benefits to your physical health. It elevates the importance of community and social interaction from a nice-to-have to a must-have. And once we understand the profound impact of these truths, both on our minds and bodies, the path to overcoming loneliness becomes less daunting and more achievable. It's not about revolutionary changes, but rather consistent, small steps towards reconnection, which is our fifth and final hidden truth. We've explored how loneliness is about disconnection, how shame keeps it secret, how it ties into purpose, and its serious physical toll. Now, for our final hidden truth, one that offers immense hope and practicality. It's about how we actually start to mend this feeling. Often, when people realize they're lonely, the immediate thought is, "Oh no, I need to go out and make new friends." And for many, especially as we get older, the idea of suddenly forming deep new friendships can feel overwhelming, even impossible. Where do you even begin? How do you initiate those conversations? This often leads to inaction and deeper isolation. But here's the powerful, liberating truth. Overcoming loneliness isn't about grand gestures or forcing new deep friendships. It's about rediscovering and nurturing connection through consistent, small, often unnoticed acts in your everyday life. It's about opening yourself up, even just a tiny bit, to the connections that are already around you, or those that are easily accessible. Think about your daily routines. Do you smile at the cashier in the supermarket and exchange a few pleasant words? Do you acknowledge your neighbor when you see them tending their garden? Perhaps a simple "good morning" or "lovely flowers." Do you pause to chat briefly with the postman or the delivery person? These might seem like insignificant interactions, but they are vital threads in the fabric of human connection. Each small moment of positive interaction, however brief, sends a signal to your brain that you are seen, you are acknowledged, and you are part of a larger community. It's a cumulative effect. It's not about finding a new best friend, but about building a collection of small, positive human touches throughout your day. It could be joining a local book club or a walking group, not with the pressure to become best friends with everyone, but simply to share a common interest and exchange a few words each week. It might be calling a relative you haven't spoken to in a while, just for a brief catch-up, or sending a card to an old acquaintance. Even something as simple as volunteering for an hour or two at a local charity, or helping a neighbor with a small task, can provide those little bursts of connection and purpose. These aren't overwhelming commitments. They are gentle nudges towards re-engagement. It's about consistency, about making a conscious effort to sprinkle tiny moments of connection throughout your week, allowing them to accumulate and form a stronger sense of belonging. The more you practice these small interactions, the easier and more natural they become, gradually building up your confidence and expanding your comfort zone. So, what can you start doing today? Begin by acknowledging the truth within yourself. If you're feeling lonely, it's okay. It's a human emotion, not a weakness. Then, choose one small, consistent act. Maybe it's making eye contact and smiling at 5 strangers today. Maybe it's sending one text message to an old friend. Maybe it's joining a low-commitment local group. Even if it's just for one trial session, consider reaching out to your community center, library, or place of worship for events designed for seniors. If technology allows, A regular video call with a distant family member can bridge miles. The key is small, consistent steps. Don't wait for grand opportunities. Create micro opportunities every day. These little acts of reaching out are like planting seeds. Over time, they grow into a garden of connection. Remember, loneliness is not a personal failure. It's a signal, a human need for connection. And understanding these hidden truths empowers you to respond to that signal with courage and intention. We've journeyed through 5 hidden truths about loneliness in old age. We've discovered that it's not just about being physically alone, but about a deeper sense of disconnection, even when surrounded by people. We've seen how pride and shame often keep this struggle hidden, preventing us from seeking the very connection we need. We've understood that losing purpose and identity can be as isolating as losing loved ones. And we've recognized the profound and often overlooked physical health consequences of prolonged loneliness. But most importantly, we've learned that true reconnection doesn't require monumental effort. It flourishes through small, consistent acts of engagement in our daily lives. Each of these truths, when brought into the light, becomes a powerful tool for understanding, for empathy, and for action. I truly hope that shedding light on these hidden truths has resonated with you. Perhaps it's given you a new perspective on your own feelings, or helped you understand someone you care about. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you recognized any of these hidden truths in your own life, or in the lives of those around you? Share your insights and stories in the comments below. Your words can help others who might be feeling the same way. If this video has helped you in any way, please give it a thumbs up. It helps others find this important information. And if you'd like more content that helps you live your best life at every age, consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out. Remember, connection is a fundamental human need, and it's something we can actively cultivate. No matter our age or circumstances, you are not alone in this journey. Embrace these truths. Take those small, courageous steps, and know that a rich, connected life is absolutely within your reach. Live your best life at every age, full of purpose, joy, and meaningful connection.